Welcome to Adventures Walking as One, where we explore what it really looks like to walk in the same direction on the same path as husband and wife.
hmm We are Mark and Carol Schweiger of Walk as One Ministries, and we believe marriage is the greatest adventure and worth preparing for.
I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah.
It is an adventure.
It is an adventure.
What are we going to talk about for today's adventure?
Trust.
Trust. Ooh.
Ooh, trust. And trust is the belief that someone is good and honest and will not harm you, that something is safe, reliable, and confident. I like that.
That's a heavy definition.
Yeah.
Earlier I was thinking, I went to the dentist yesterday, and why did I trust him? I mean, you don't even know some of these guys, and you
Yeah.
go in and they're like drilling holes in your teeth or something. But we still trust them,
Yeah. And we're hoping they're reliable
and we're hoping they're reliable.
and safe.
Oh,
But
uh,
a weird question, kind of a weird question is, can you have a good marriage and not trust your spouse? Ooh, that's a
I
deep one.
I don't know if you can. I was going to say you can, but it's going to be a strained relationship. But
Yeah.
I can't see how that's going to work because there's trust involved in so many different aspects of our relationship. Um,
You'd be
other people.
questioning everything.
Yeah, everything. It's like,
Yeah.
well, where are you going?
Mhm.
I don't trust where you're going. I'm going to step out tonight.
Are you going to spy on me?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to spy because you think they're doing something, maybe something suspicious.
Okay.
So, even finances. It's like, well, what did you spend money on? What are you doing?
Mm.
You're not leaving enough left for me to spend.
But marriage is
That's,
a covenant, right?
that's exactly where I was going.
Oh,
But I had
okay.
to think for a second.
Okay.
But it is a covenant, and the covenant is based on trust, and I guess that's really what we're saying. I mean, if you make a covenant and then you're not trustworthy, then it's not really going to be a covenant anymore.
Right. You're not going to throw the relationship away if you're in covenant, right?
Yeah,
You're not going to give up easily. You're going to keep pursuing. Um, it's a commitment that builds over time. When we get married, we state vows, right? When we got married, we stated our vows, and vows are very important. It's till death do we part, and it really is like all that I am belongs to you. All that you are belongs to me.
hmm
And that takes a lot of trust. I'm gonna surrender all of me, whatever I have, you know, whoever I am, whatever I represent is yours and vice versa. And that is full trust. I'm trusting you with my life. I'm trusting you with who I am, right? And believing that you believe the best for me. You want the
yes,
best for me.
yes, and that only comes through time,
Yeah.
I think. 'Cause I was thinking back of when we were first going out, and we had some level of trust when we first started. Well, not when we first started dating.
Oh, we
Um,
were off and on for years.
yes, and that even after we got married, that caused me to have dreams that would be like, "Oh, is she gone again? Oh, no, she's right here."
I'm here.
She's but there's that left a definite, scar, I guess. I don't know if a scar is the correct word, but there's things that happen in dating and breaking up and dating and breaking up, that do have an effect on us.
Yeah. But it's a track record, right?
Yeah.
Having a good track record enables you to trust each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, well, let's talk about when when we were first going out. I guess you would call it again seriously. So we were on and off for a long time,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
then
went away to school,
that's true.
but there were reasons why we didn't really get serious. We never talked about our relationship.
No,
We would date.
it was just dating.
Yeah, we would date for a few weeks and then go off and do our own thing. And then we would see each other and go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there he is again. But then I went away to school. But I also got involved in another relationship in the meantime, and it got very serious. So much so that I was engaged to him. He was living in Michigan. I was in California going to school. And then I realized something wasn't lining up right. And I found out he was seeing another woman. And of course, that's like, complete rejection, kind of an abandonment kind of thing. And so the relationship ended. And it caused me to feel very fearful. And of course, I would never be able to trust him again. So it's like, okay, I'm out of here. But yeah, when I had the graduation party, my bachelor's graduation party, my
Hmm.
mom invited you to come, and I saw you come down the stairs. I'm like, oh my gosh. I even stopped talking to the person I was talking to. I'm like, excuse me. I gotta go talk to Mark. But there was a sense of, I wasn't afraid if we were to go into a relationship because I knew I could trust you. You never gave me any reason not to trust you.
Which is pretty amazing, being as we were on and off, on and off. But I think that was your initial feeling, and I think we had to put a demarcation, if you will, to say, okay, you know what, let's do this seriously if we're going to do this again. And so we're not just, hanging out for a little while and then
Right.
breaking up again.
Yeah, you did make it very clear. You said no more on and off stuff. This is all or nothing. And I swallowed deep and went, okay.
I think we were going out to get ice cream at that point, weren't we?
went
Or
out for
something like
ice
that.
because I wanted to share what had happened and get through that out of the past, and be clean. And so anyway, yeah, it
So-
became an all and not a nothing.
Yeah, and I like that because we were intentional about it. I
Very.
think because otherwise we would have probably done the same thing we've always done.
Right.
You're blowing around with the wind. Wind blows this way, you go that way.
Yeah.
So we said, no, whether we're going to do this or not, let's make an intentional effort to see if we actually want to do this or not.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I like that, and I think that helped to build the trust. So we said we're going to try to do this, and then you can start seeing how your interactions are working and develop from that feeling that you had into something a little more concrete. That he said he's going to be over here, and he came over.
Yeah. The reliability part, those are deposits, right?
Yeah.
Trust is like that love bank. They're deposits that you make in the relationship that say, I am here. I'm not going to leave you. I'm reliable. I care about you, all of that. And, that's a safe feature. But when we make these deposits in the love bank, if there are situations like maybe you weren't fully honest about something or something happened that causes mistrust, then that's a withdrawal. But if you don't have a good bank account of deposits, you've got to have something to withdraw from. Not that you want to withdraw, but there are times when something might happen. It could be a trigger. It could be something that triggers in me that, oh no, what if he's not going to follow through with what he said he's going to do? Or he said he's going to Home Depot. Did he really go to Home Depot?
And-
you know?
And that's where assumptions start coming in.
Yes. Assumptions are huge. Presumptions, right?
Assumptions and presumptions, yes.
Right. Where we think that, something's happening. We're assuming something's happening. He just got a text message. Who's it from? Ooh, no. Shut that off. No. Until it's proven, there's nothing there, right?
Yes.
There's nothing there. An assumption, just your imagination's running wild.
Well, yes, and Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding.
Yes.
So what you think may not be true. And we all do assumptions. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a normal part of thinking. Based on what I've seen so far, I assume this is happening.
Right.
And so it's important. And I think one of the things that helped us to trust each other was that we've had more withdrawals. Or not withdrawals,
Deposits.
deposits.
Yes.
Thank you. We were making deposits, but it was intentional through a long period of time.
Right.
Through all the marriage conferences. I mean, we went to, was it 14 years marriage conferences? And so we
And
were
all the
always,
teaching.
yeah, I think we were always making deposits
Right.
for a long, long time. And it's that intentional discussing these things so I'm not making assumptions
Yeah.
as we go forward.
Yeah. And definitely following through with what we say we're going to do.
Yes.
You know, that's huge.
So
Being a person of your word, and that was something that I always knew I could trust you in, that you were never one that would lie to me. You would never deceive me in any way unless you were trying to plan something
yes,
that
plan
was
something.
special. But that's
And you're a hard
totally
one to-
different.
yes, and you're hard because you're watching all the time. And
Always.
if you're trying to plan something, it's like, well, what's going on here?
I know I got to shut it off because I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna, or yeah, that's the challenge.
And then
right?
it makes me mad that I figured it out.
So I haven't done a lot of those, but we have pulled some off successfully.
Yeah. But you're a man of your word. And that is just so honorable to me. That makes it, I can trust you. And that's just huge. Sometimes there's not just past history of things that might cause distrust. It could even be like maybe somebody was involved in a car accident and you don't trust your spouse's driving because of something that happened in your past. Well, it doesn't mean that you should distrust your spouse, but the spouse needs to give you grace because you've had this happen in your past, right?
And we've seen that. And it's probably, I've heard it from numerous sources. Now I don't think we've experienced that other than direction.
There was early in our relationship. I was great. I grabbed the wheel a couple times.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. And you were like, don't do that. Don't do it. And I'm like, oh. And it took a while for me to trust your driving. Not that you were a bad driver, but because I was triggered because of something that happened to me. So, yeah, it takes time.
Well, and control is an indicator. If you have to know everything or you want to have control all the time, it's an indicator of a good indicator of distrust.
Right.
We know a guy that he had a surgical procedure, and they put, I guess they call it a halo. It was screwed into his head, and you went with him to drive him home.
Yes. And he wouldn't let me drive. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because he had to have the control of the vehicle.
Yes.
It's like, oh my gosh.
So that's just, if you find yourself in that position, that's a good indicator that you're not being trustful. And you have to find out why, because it causes disruption in your marriage. For driving, every time you're in the car, you're going to have issues and you're going to be arguing. And
yeah, fear. The breakdown of fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not true. Fear is not even a truth. So are you afraid of something, and why are you afraid? What's underneath that? What's behind that? Is it really rejection or abandonment that might have happened? Again, triggers, right?
Yep, triggers. And I had that one time where I had gotten angry at something. I don't remember what was going on, but I didn't even know. And so I had to go and ask the Lord. I said, well, why am I angry with this? And he showed me it was a fear of rejection that I didn't even realize was there. So we have things in our subconscious that are still there, and we have to watch out for these things.
Yeah. Another reason to distrust is something that really did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was some infidelity in the relationship.
Well, the example that you gave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's huge. Maybe financial hiding.
Mm-hmm.
What if they have a bank account and you just learned about it? Why do they have that bank account? Prenuptial agreements. It's like, why do you need a prenuptial agreement? Because it's not if this doesn't work, it's when this doesn't work. That's not covenant.
Yeah, and you can't have a covenant, and there's a lot of people that, they don't marry their accounts because of fear,
Right,
or they were married once before, and for whatever reason, they don't trust their spouse anymore,
right,
which I guess that goes back to the question you asked when we first started, um, can you have a good marriage and not trust each other?
right.
For me, it's we've always well, I don't we've had some level of trust, and we've been building on that. After 40 years now, there's a lot of trust there from all the deposits that we've been making. But how you cannot trust somebody with your money,
Yeah,
that you have to maintain your own accounts and your own monitoring of stuff, and then let them know what their share of the bills and living expenses are.
right,
It's just, I struggle with how you can actually make that work successfully.
right. And that's a big one, right?
Yes,
Um, so let's talk about some ways that keep trust.
that keep trust.
Yeah, those deposits. I mean, we've probably mentioned some of these, but the one that I had mentioned was that your word is good. You don't lie to me. You're not deceptive. I can count on you. That's a huge one.
Well, I think there's expectations
Mm,
in reality. Uh, I can't expect too much. So if you're going to use some of my tools or something like that, um, I don't necessarily expect them to be put back in the exact same spot. Uh,
you don't?
well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, right?
I try to.
Yeah, and you try to, and I guess that's where I was. My expectations aren't that they're in the exact same spot, but at least maybe if it was over here, it's on this side of the toolbox. But I can go back in when I want, and I know exactly where that is in the middle of a project. And so the trust of just something simple like using the tools,
Right,
that could be a big thing if you use stuff all the time and it's scattered all over the house, or worse. Where did it go?
right.
Well, I don't know. I
Exactly.
used it. I don't remember where I put
Yeah.
it.
Ugh,
For me, that would drive me crazy.
right. There's no need to hide anything in our relationship. You know, my phone, you know how to access to open up my phone. Um, you can see anything that's on my phone. I don't care. I have nothing to hide, unless I'm planning a surprise. But other than that, there's never anything for us to hide. We trust each other with what we spend. We trust each other with where we go.
Yeah, the passwords, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the bane of our existence now. Is
Yes.
passwords. So many
Right.
different passwords.
But we have access to all of it.
Yep,
So again, that's covenant, right? All that I am belongs to you, and all that you are belongs to me. There's nothing to hide.
yep.
Um,
You know,
we seek the best for each other,
yes,
right?
yes.
And that's a major deposit. We're not out to get each other. Even if we're mad at each other, the temptation is, oh, fine, I'm going to do this now. Well, no, that's not love, right? So we seek to do what's best for each other, even if we're not very happy about something, until we come to a resolution on it, right?
One of the good things is that I know that you're not my enemy. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes, like you said, even if we're in a little bit of disagreement, but I know that you're not my enemy. And sometimes I have to say that. And I've heard you tell me that Mark, you're not my enemy. Carol, you're not my enemy.
Yeah.
And so once we've established that we're friends, that kind of does a level set to say, hey, we're going to be looking out for each other
Yeah.
as opposed to some kind of a hostile interaction.
Right. But there are times when a withdrawal has occurred. Maybe something happened that was a little offensive or maybe even assumed wrong. But it's important to take responsibility of your part, your role in it.
Hmm.
So if I do something that offended you or that caused distrust in any way, I need to recognize it and apologize. So we need to be quick to forgive, but we also have to be quick to recognize our role in it, the responsibility we have, and seek forgiveness,
And
right?
that's hard.
Yeah.
It's really easy to say I'm sorry. I don't know why this. Well, I guess we can talk about why that is, but it seems easy. And you could say there's a lot of people that just, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, hey, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It seems really easy, but to stop and say, oh, I forgive you.
Yeah.
That's extremely difficult.
It's even hard to say, I was wrong.
Hmm.
Ooh. It's easy to say, I'm sorry. But if you say it flippantly, it doesn't sound genuine. But if you're saying it as, you know what, I messed up. I was wrong and I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? And that really puts the ball in the other person's court, you know?
And I think that's one of the things that makes it difficult. Is that now it's in my court,
Yeah.
and well, maybe I wasn't ready to forgive you yet. Or especially if you're offended.
Right.
And so you said you're sorry. Well, oh yeah, okay. Well, I'm still dealing with this. I'm still processing it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I feel yet.
Right.
But it is an intentional thing that you have to do, even if you don't feel it.
It's a decision.
And so,
If once you make the decision that I'm going to forgive them, then over time the feelings change and it aligns with that forgiveness, right?
yeah, and I don't even think it's any easier after 40 years, right?
What to
To
say,
say I
I
forgive you.
forgive you?
Yeah,
I think it is.
it's easier.
Yeah, I think it is.
I have to make mental note next time.
I don't know. I've eaten a lot of humble pie, so I don't know. But that is really important to forgive. Um, Jesus instructed his disciples to forgive 7 times 70, and that was in one day. So I don't think we cause issues with one another 490 times a day.
Not with each other, but we do have enough issues that I
Right,
find myself, at least inside my head, having to say, okay, I forgive them.
right.
Because, we, especially for us right now, there's a lot of people in the house and
Yeah,
a lot of interactions going on. And so if your expectations are that everything is perfect, uh, you're going to be disappointed.
yeah,
And so it's like, okay, I'm going to have to forgive them for doing that. And then actually, I have to readjust um, how I'm looking at things.
right.
And in other words, reset my expectations that
Yes,
everything's not going to be perfect and exactly as I envision it. And
right. Especially when there's little ones.
yes, little ones, they don't really
Luke,
care about my expectations.
not too much. Theirs supersedes ours.
Yes.
In Luke, he said, if there is repentance, you must forgive. So it's almost like you don't have an option. Well, you have an option, but you really do need to forgive. And Ephesians 4:32 says, instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Oh, that puts a different slant on it. If I want to be forgiven by the Lord, I need to forgive in return.
Yes.
So it's a very good example. And grace needs to be given. Maybe it's hard to feel that you've forgiven, but grace needs to be given, both on both sides.
Yes.
I got to if I offended you, I got to give you time to come to
To
terms with that.
process it.
Yeah. And I got to forgive myself and give myself grace to avoid doing that, whatever it is, or correct whatever needs to be corrected, right?
Yes.
Or, if I did something and I recognize it, I got to take responsibility for that, but give myself grace
Yes.
to deal with that.
So all in all, to have trust in somebody, I think the forgiveness, saying I'm sorry, this reconciliation process has helped us to build more trust in our relationship.
Yeah.
Even if because we're going to mess up something.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Everybody it does, and it's
Right.
maybe not intentional.
Right.
There was one of my coworkers once told me a story that he has a honey-do list, and he intentionally messes up the task. So he doesn't have to do it again. So his wife will be like, yeah, I'm not going to ask you to do this anymore.
That's deceiving.
Yeah. And I was like, you know, why are you even doing this? It's not even, it's a way of disingenuous, I guess, at best,
Yeah.
because you're presenting something that is not true to the other person just so you don't have to do it again.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
lazy.
and so, this trust, these deposits, withdrawals, we have to make intentional deposits, and
Yes.
that for sure would have been a big withdrawal because I couldn't even imagine doing that.
No. And
'Cause,
and I knowing you, you would never intentionally do that
yeah.
ever. It might take a while to get some things done, but
That's a different story
it's a
for
different
another
story.
podcast.
Yeah. But I just want to say that trust is one of the highest values in a relationship. It really is. And it's a reflection of loving that person.
Well, I think that's all for today, right?
I think so. I think we've wrapped it up. So, we'd like them to share, you know, share ways that you demonstrate trust to your spouse. We'd like to hear what that sounds like,
Yes, for sure.
you know. Thanks for joining us on Adventures Walking as One. And let us know how this episode has helped you.
And so visit our website at walkasone.net and let us know what you think. We have links out there. You can
Yeah,
leave us comments
that would be great to hear.
and you can subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe and share. Thank you. Please subscribe and share this with a friend. Visit our website at walkasone.net.
Thank you for listening to a WBRW TV produced podcast in Washington Township, Michigan. Our podcast can be found on Spotify, and our video programming can be watched on WBRWTV.com or on our broadcast channels in Washington, Bruce, and Romeo on Comcast and AT&T. If you're interested in using our podcast space or have any ideas of your own for a podcast, reach out to us now at WBRWpodcast@gmail.com. For more information on our organization, our content, or how you can get involved, visit WBRWTV.com. The opinions, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect the views of the Charter Township of Washington, Michigan Community Media, or WBRW TV.